Hi, and welcome to the digital ethno-narrative completed by Christina Kremer and Joanna Hagan, which was done for the Family Social Science Class 3102, Family Systems and Diversity. For this project, we interviewed Kimberly Fung, the student here at the University of Minnesota who was born in Malaysia, still lives there when she is not here for school, and identifies with Malaysian culture. This digital ethno-narrative will focus on the social and familial relationships that exist within her culture, specifically how they compare to the dynamics that we see here in the United States and the differences that she has observed during her time here. So, to begin, some background information. The country of Malaysia is actually two separate pieces of land located in Southeast Asia, separated by the South China Sea. The two parts of Malaysia fall in between Thailand and Indonesia, with Thailand bordering on the left and Indonesia bordering on the right. The country has a population of 32.3 million people, with steady growth rates seen over the last few decades. With free public education and free healthcare for the majority of residents, there is a lot of attraction to living there, which has helped their economy boom. More than half of the population identifies as Malay, which means they consider themselves Muslim and practice Malay customs. The primary language that is spoken there is Malaysian, but Chinese and English are also popular, along with Malay. The primary religion is Islam, although the person we interviewed identifies as a Christian. A typical family size in Malaysia is 4 people, often composed of a father, a mother, and 2 children. Extended family often lives with the primary family, especially grandparents. There is a great respect for elders in Malaysian culture, so if parents or grandparents are needed to be taken care of, then there is that expectation that it will be done. Fathers are usually the head of households and are expected to be the primary breadwinners for the families, while mothers usually take on the role of caring for the children and elderly. While conducting this interview, we encountered some differences between what we found in our research and what Kimberly told us. Her family lives with much more modern gender roles, so much of what we researched did not actually coincide with what she told us. In our research, there seemed to be a theme of males being held in higher regard than females, but during the interview, she told us that although that does occur, it's not as conservative as some believe, and it's more similar to the United States than you would expect. The stereotypes for gender roles are fading, and she was raised in a more modern household. This seems to be becoming much more common among families in Southeast Asia, and hopefully that will be reflected in popular culture and upcoming research.
State your name and where you're from and what culture you identify with.
My name is Kimberly. I'm from Malaysia and I'm a Malaysian Chinese.
What are the main ethnicities in Malaysia?
I think it's probably Malaysian, Malay, Chinese, and Indian. Although those are like races, but they're mixed. So like there's like Chinese, Malay, Indian, Chinese, where like we're all mixed-ish.
Okay. What are the main languages that are spoken there?
English, Malay, and Chinese.
Which of these were you taught to speak growing up?
English and Chinese. And is that like a separate question?
You can go in there.
And Malay was like a compulsory language that we had to learn in school.
Okay. How has your culture influenced your family? Are there any gender norms or practices that are still like present and different from here?
I guess my culture is more like the Chinese culture.
Okay.
Like more like if you're a female, you have to dress more appropriate.
How has your culture influenced your family? Are there any gender norms or practices that are similar or different to those in the United States?
Our family culture is based more on like Chinese culture, so like the gender norms would just be like the typical like if you're a girl, you have to come back early, and you have to dress appropriately kind of thing. I guess it's pretty similar. It's not really different.
Okay. Are there things like, does your mom have to cook and clean and dad work, or?
For my family, not really. Like it's more balanced. Like both my parents are working. I mean, my mom cooks too, but it's not like a mom have to stay home kind of thing. Yeah.
How are the religious practices different between the United States and Malaysia?
Because Malaysia is more like a Muslim country, so the main religion there would be Muslims. But for my family, we're Christians, so it's kind of like it depends on. I can't really like compare because family in Malaysia here different. Yeah.
Are there any family traditions or holidays that you celebrate?
Yeah, like Chinese New Year, Christmas, and some other like holidays that too. Yeah.
Did you want to provide a little bit of history on them?
Like Christmas would be like
Christmas is like here.
yeah. Chinese New Year is like we follow the lunar calendar thing. Yeah. And then the rest of the holidays are other religions. Holiday. It's just that because we're a country, so everyone celebrates it together in a way.
Yeah. Have you noticed any changes in celebrations from year to year?
No, not really. We're just pretty traditional.
Okay. Well, being in the U.S., did you notice any similarities or differences in how culture is celebrated?
Yeah, there are some public holidays here that we don't have there, like St. Patrick's. I don't know, like
St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, kind of thing. Like we don't have it there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. But like the big ones, like Christmas and stuff, we do have it there. So
So, can you tell me a bit about your family, like your parents, grandparents, siblings, pets?
like tell about.
How big is your family?
Oh, we're only like a 3-person. I'm the only child. I have a dog and a guinea pig, if that counts. So yeah.
And then how old are your parents?
My dad is 54. My mom is 53. Yeah.
Do you know how old they were when they got married?
No, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
So how close are you to your parents now?
We're pretty close ever since I got to the States. Like our relationship got closer.
Okay. And then, how old do people typically move out of their parents' house in Malaysia? Is there like an age or?
For females, I feel like mainly it's like when you get married, then you move to your partner's house.
Okay.
Males, they kind of, I guess, when they start working, it's more on a personal choice. But on a female side, it's more strict, where usually it's when you get married and then you move out.
Okay. So around what age do people tend to get married now?
Around what age? I think around 25, 6, 7, somewhere there. I think would be the average. Late 20s, yeah.
So you said your family is close now that you moved here. Were you still close growing up?
I wasn't very close with my family when I grew up because they were busy working. So I was like at the daycare center kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not really. Yeah.
And then, were you assigned to like a certain role in the family since you were the only sibling, or I guess only child? Did you have to do anything chore-wise, work?
Yeah, I mean, I had to help around the house, but not like specific, like anything specific, like assigned to. It's just like helping around.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many of your family members still live in Malaysia?
Both of them.
No. So, I guess it's not common to move or leave like grandparents.
Oh yeah, I mean,
uncles.
different. It's not that common, but people do. So, not my family, I guess. Yeah.
Do you plan to go back there when you're done with school or stay here?
I'm still thinking about that though. It depends on whether if I get a job or not or stuff like that.
Would you say your family was pretty typical?
Yeah. I mean, they used to be, but then now they're more open-minded.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is a typical family in Malaysia like? I guess size, attitudes.
Typical would be like probably around four like mom, dad, and then 2 siblings, and then maybe like a pet, and then or maybe your grandparents would be there and stuff. Yeah.
What rules did you have around school, dating, driving, moving out, and friendship?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah. What rules did you have around school and dating?
Rules. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really have rules on dating. Like my parents were pretty chill about it. School was more like I have to do well because my mom was a smart one, so she's like, "Why aren't you like that? Why aren't you like me?" Yeah, and then what was the other one?
Driving, moving out, typical high schooler things.
Driving for Malaysians, it's usually you get your license by 18. So like there's that's like the only rule.
Yeah.
And, like family is just like whether you get a car or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Were the rules different for boys and girls on, I guess, how strict it was to go to school or date or hang out all the time?
Yeah, I think it's not like a Malaysian thing, but it's more like a global thing where guys just get more freedom and girls needs to be more good.
Have you noticed a difference from how you grew up in Malaysia to how your time here has been?
A difference in
like
progress or like
how much people pay attention to school or their friends or going out?
I mean, as I grow, I do like notice a difference because people grow, but then yeah, that's kind of generally
What values were you taught when you were growing up to make an impact on your life?
Don't procrastinate.
That's a good one.
And like pick up after yourself. Like don't leave stuff everywhere.
If you're comfortable saying, what is your religion and how big of a role does it play or did it play?
I'm Christian, but at the same time, I'm like a super chill Christian, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like the not really super religious kind of thing.
Are there certain cultural, religious things that you'd like to continue or end in your life with your future family?
I think it depends on my partner too. Like it's like a 2-person thing, so I don't know.
There's nothing that you really like that you want to keep?
Religiously, not really, but maybe traditionally. Then like we would still like I would want to like still celebrate whatever we do at home, like Chinese New Year kind of thing. But religiously, I don't think so.
Yeah. Now, how do you think your family affected who you are today?
How did they affect me? I mean, they basically like shaped me for like who I am today. Like they taught me a lot. So yeah.
We're down to the last few questions. What was the biggest culture shock you experienced when moving to the United States?
Tips. Like we have to pay tips to the.
Really?
Yeah, because we don't have that in Malaysia, so I'm not used to it at all.
Lucky. I rarely tip people.
You can do that. Okay. No.
What are you gonna miss most about the United States if you leave?
I guess the freedom. Like people here are less judgmental. I don't know, like in Malaysia because like a Muslim country, so whatever you wear or however you look like, people would just like stare at you in a way. So here would be more free.
Okay.